We are live on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. For those who are listening for the very first time, I am your senpai Zane. Welcome to the Undisputed Nerds Podcast. As always, I am joined by my fantastic co-host, the gentleman gamer himself, GG. How are you, good sir?
Hello, everyone out there in Radio Land. Yes, I'm doing well, thank you. Doing very well. Doing good. We're definitely live. We're definitely a go.
We are 100% live right now.
Good. This is not a second run of the intro at all. Let's not pretend like we're not.
No, it's not like we were variants of our previous selves or anything.
Oh my goodness. The TVA is coming in as we speak. They're going to take us over. It's not good. Old us is gone. That's it. It's done. This is how it's supposed to happen.
Yeah,
I'm doing well, thank you, Mr. Zane. I am. It's as I was alluding to in a previous life. It's been a long week, and it feels like it's been a long week this week. And I don't know whether it's just because of the amazing British weather chopping and changing all the time on us, but all in all, doing all right. Thank you. Doing all right. Trying to stay awake more. And not have random naps, which I'm failing at, but there you go. Welcome to a post-COVID world, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't knock a good power nap.
How are you?
Yeah, I am good, thank you. For those who are watching on YouTube, you could probably tell that I'm having a bad hair day. That's why I'm wearing a baseball cap, but it is a Green Arrow baseball cap because got to represent the boy Oliver Queen, you know?
Jeez, I mean...
The legend.
Yeah, you'll notice that, okay, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you will notice my bad hair day, which I refuse to cover up because I'm representing Captain Bowl haircut, which is a lovely look. It's quarantine growth.
Guy Gardner look,
The Guy Gardner look, exactly. Yeah, before I appear in a terrible TV show. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Just missing that green vest jacket.
Now that you said that to me, I wish I'd worn my Green Lantern shirt. If I'm honest with you, I'm wearing a wrestling T-shirt today, so I'm slightly regretful. I'm not going to show it on stream because it'll go into a
cease and desist.
Exactly. Let's just say it's for a member of the Bullet Club that probably I shouldn't have his shirt anymore after revelations last year. So there you go.
There we go. I see what you mean. We got loads of news.
Laundry day, folks. Laundry day.
We got a lot of news to talk about this week.
There's a lot to go through this week, isn't there?
Yeah. You ready to jump in?
Including a bonkers episode of Loki as well, which I am interested to hear your thoughts and opinions on. So
yeah. Likewise, if you're listening to this, we want to know your thoughts. So stick around, jump into the chat, jump into the comments, let us know your thoughts and ideas, because this is a doozy.
Or if you're listening on a podcast, drop us in an email, or get in touch via Twitch or Twitter, or however you want to in the future. But let's hop into the news then, buddy. Yeah, go for it.
So the first one I've noted here, because this blew my mind. Transformers movie with a sort of Beast Wars crossover.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's weird, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on this one at all. So, would you like to explain for those of our listeners or viewers who do not know what Beast Wars is?
Yes. So back in 1994, there was a new take on the Transformers franchise where it was all centered around beasts. Instead of Transformers turning into cars or anything along those lines, they turned into animals. So, for example, Optimus Prime wasn't a truck; he was a gorilla. Megatron wasn't he was a T-Rex. And so forth. So
I was going to say, because the thing that confuses me about this, they were dinosaurs, weren't they? Essentially, I can't remember who was the Triceratops, but I remember having a Triceratops toy that transformed into an Autobot. This is very weird. Because I thought they'd kind of touched on this already with, like, one of the Michael Bay Transformers. I had to hold my tongue then. One of the Michael Bay Transformer movies. I thought they already touched on this, didn't they? Was it Dark of the Moon or one of the other ones? Or
yeah, so it's tricky because there were Dinobots in the original sort of Transformers, saga, shall we say, like the TV shows,
Dinobots,
comics, all that, and all that jazz. But Beast Wars were almost seen as not outside of continuity because, spoiler alert, in the very last episode, they found the remains of the original Optimus Prime. And I think the gorilla version was Optimus Primal. So you had the Predacons, I think they refer to, which were, a variation of the Decepticons and so forth. But yeah,
it was to say a variation on Predator then. I was like, yeah, yes, the greatest tie-in of ever, Transformers versus Predator. Want some candy? Sorry.
But growing up, I loved this because it was like a CGI cartoon series. As you say,
that's right. I'm thinking of a completely different situation. Yes, I remember Beast Wars now. Like, what was in the intro? Like they were all running or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, we get to see a live action version of it now. Which is really bizarre.
Well, I will pose this question to you then, as more of a Transformers fan than me.
Sure.
You're super excited for this then?
I am a little bit.
You are.
You are. I know it won't be on the same sort of look. It's going to be a sequel to Bumblebee, because it's supposed to be like a continuation from, because Bumblebee takes place in the 80s. This is supposed to take place in the 90s, from what Paramount have already said.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting, weird, and everything else. And
so they're going the X-Men First Class route and doing it through the different decades. That's a great model to base themselves on, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And then we'll get ourselves all the way up to the Shia LaBeouf saga.
Oh wow! I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? That's where you want to get to again.
100%.
That's where you want. I keep hearing you brought up Shia LaBeouf now, and that's put in my mind. It's put in my mind that amazing viral video by Rob Cantor, which is the actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, I think
it's from ages ago. It's so good. It's so good. And they do the live action version of it on stage, and then at the end he's in the audience watching it. It's fantastic. So good. But yeah, that's the only bit of Shia LaBeouf that I'd be excited about seeing in a film again. I just don't. I really don't like Shia LaBeouf. So I hope he doesn't come into it. Recast him with Tom Holland. He's in everything now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Other news: Sonic turned 30.
Yeah.
They did a. I don't know if you saw it, but they did a orchestra symphony for it, which was amazing.
I didn't see this. What was this?
It's on YouTube. It's amazing. It's there's an orchestra. I think they were based in Prague, who did a whole symphony from Sonic 1 all the way, through all the various games and whatnot. And then they had Crush 40, who did all the Sonic Adventure songs. Which was amazing. So it's definitely worth checking out.
That's cool. I mean, I think Sonic is the classic example of like, that's a good 15 years worth of celebration, and then let's not talk about the next 15 years. And then the movie was all right. So there you go. I will say this, like the I can't remember what the game's called now, but somebody brought out it was like a fan made version of Sonic. Like it was back in 2016 or 17, I think it was, or something like
Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania, that's the one. That's what it's called. That was amazingly good. Like that was really good.
Fantastic.
And everyone was like, "Well, why isn't Sonic like this? Why we don't need Sonic and the Black Knight? Thanks, that's all good. Yeah, you can keep that one. Keep the terrible versions. The last full, apart from Sonic Mania, the last like new wave of Sonic that I played was Sonic Adventures 2, I think, which was on the GameCube. That was all right. That was okay. It wasn't amazing. Like, it wasn't anything like what the old school Sonic was, but I mean, it's Sega's icon, isn't it? Like, that's
Nintendo have buried them.
It's sad, isn't it? What a downer. Happy birthday, Sonic. Get the shovel.
We got a new Suicide Squad trailer. Did you get a chance to have a look at this?
Oh, you know I did. Know I did, baby. Oh boy.
What were your thoughts?
This is the Suicide Squad I wanted to see the first time round. That's what my thoughts are.
I got that vibe too.
It looks amazing. It looks really good. Some of the highlights of it. I think Harley Quinn's gonna. I legit think Harley Quinn's gonna die in this. I really do. Judging from the trailer, there's a shot in the trailer where she's running from Starro and she looks genuinely terrified. Like, I'm gonna die, terrified. And it's not it's a strange choice for Harley. Is she's never really looked like that. It's always been like I don't really care about life kind of thing. But she looks like I'm gonna die. Like, I'm really gonna die. Interesting premise to get Idris Elba's Bloodshot into the Suicide Squad by threatening his daughter. That is kind of I like it. It doesn't just make it like about we've got nothing else to lose. Might as well just go and try and kill ourselves.
But wasn't that the whole thing with like Deadshot in the last movie was about his daughter? Yeah.
Well, that's how much I remember about the first Suicide Squad. It's burned out of my retinas for life. I don't think it was. No, I thought it was about. No, I thought the first one was about giving her a better life or something like that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Whereas this one is like about threatening. Like, I like what I'm trying to get to is I like that they're portraying Amanda Waller as completely ruthless and just focused on the job, which is exactly what she's like in the comics. So that's great.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that way in the first Suicide Squad. In the first Suicide Squad, it was like, oh, we've got some superpowered people who are heroes. Maybe we need a solution. And I hated it. That being said, my expectations of the first Suicide Squad was so low that I came out of the cinema going, well, that was all right. Because I wasn't expecting anything. So... Yeah, unlike another mutual friend of ours who I won't use his name on stream, but it's my favorite story to tell ever, guys. Because I will, if you'll indulge me for just one moment, I will tell this story. So
the floor is yours.
We both, me and Mr. Zane have a mutual friend who is also a massive nerd like us, and he watched the first trailer for Suicide Squad, and to say that he was beyond hyped would be an understatement. This was like his this was his end game. Like, he was the most excited for this I've ever seen him excited for a film. The trailers kept coming out, and it slowly became apparent as the second and third trailer came out that the original vision in the first trailer was not going to be what we were all expecting. And so my expectation levels just petered right into the floor. His just was like, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And then the film came out, and I have never seen a man so crushed at how terrible a movie was as our friend was with this movie. And what was even better about it, so I constantly take the mick out of him for it. English expression, sorry. I make fun of him for it.
The bants.
Total bants. And I will say, oh, it's your favorite movie, isn't it? And it winds him up. And it got even better when that year, the Academy Awards, Suicide Squad won an Academy Award for Best Hair and Makeup or something like that. I think it was. And it beat Star Trek Beyond as well that year, which is mental. But anyway, it just gave me the perfect opportunity, because every single time my friend now goes, yeah, I completely hated Suicide Squad. I stop him, I just go, excuse me, I think you mean the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. And it drives him crazy. He's like numb to it now. It stopped working anymore. But man, it was the funny. That's what I got out of the first Suicide Squad film. I got hours of entertainment ribbing my friend. That's what I got out of it.
Time.
I will never let him forget, Zane. I will never let him forget. You know this.
I'll never forget when Ben Affleck turned up to have dinner with Amanda Waller. I was like, this is the scene, save it.
Why am I not surprised that you remember a scene with Batfleck? Why am I not surprised? But yeah, I'm trying to think of some other. There were some other interesting revelations. We got a look at. I think we saw it in the previous trailer as well. But Peter Capaldi is the Thinker.
The Thinker, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the actor's name, but the Polka Dot Man. We got some more of his weird powers in the trailer as well. What's that guy's name? He was in Dark Knight as well, and he's also in Ant-Man.
He is, yeah. Various movies.
Yeah, he's got one of those faces. It's like, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
He's Hollywood's that guy.
Have you heard the Hector theory? I know this is a bit of a tangent, but there's like a Hector theory because there's this one guy who's in multiple movies, and he always plays as like, it sounds terrible, but he always plays as this character called Hector. And he's always like in a white vest and jeans, sort of like, and it's kind of a stereotype and a bit of a background character, but he like jumps from like Fast and Furious to being in like Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp and like all these other movies. And you're just this kind of like weird, like through line, all these movies.
We all know what it is. It's Uatu the Watcher. He's in all dimensions, watching everything.
Exactly.
Interesting. No, I haven't heard that theory, but that is very interesting. The Hector, I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to piece together because I watched it yesterday, the Suicide Squad trailer. I'm trying to think of what other things were actually in it, other than obviously King Shark getting thrown across the world by Starro.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm glad they're using Starro. I know that I feel like he's going to be quite a joke villain. As this just big monster thing, but yeah, he is a big bad in Justice League. You know, and I know he's ridiculous.
I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's on the front cover.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm excited for Suicide Squad 2. I think it's going to. I do have a lot of faith in James Gunn to. It's exactly the kind of wacky mental setup that he is perfect at. Like he's perfect at. Like I haven't been a fan of all James Gunn stuff. Like I didn't really enjoy Brightburn. I know it wasn't directed by him, but it was written by him, I think, or produced by him, something or other. I didn't really enjoy Brightburn. I thought it was a bit of a swing and a miss on a Superman origin story. But loads of other stuff. He's like. Super is amazing. Slither's really good. Obviously, Guardians goes without saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super hyped for it. I think it's going to be great. I'm assuming you're as hyped as I am for it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the bants more than anything. I like the jokes and the quibs. Like when they talk about Weasel in the helicopter, they all pretend that he's a werewolf.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, he's eaten 24 children, but it's...
yeah. I'm looking forward to that. And Cena as well. He had a pun at the end.
Yeah, of course. I forgot about Cena. Yes. Yes, go on, please.
It's just his one line at the end of where he says, a starfish is a term for something else.
You can say it on the street. It's fine. It's another name for a butthole. Should we? I mean, we're not going to go into it. Well, I'm sure we'll do an episode on Suicide Squad 2, but early predictions: who's going to die? Because Gunn has already confirmed that people are going to die in this film.
I think Michael Rook's character, possibly Polka Dot Man. I think Rat King.
Okay.
Because there's
Ratcatcher.
Ratcatcher. Sorry, yeah.
Ratcatcher 2. Because it's the daughter of the original Ratcatcher in Suicide Squad.
Yeah. There's a scene where she says, like, I think they're on a bus or something. She says to Idris Elba, like, I'm going to make sure you live. And he says the same thing to her. And I'm like,
oh, right. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on Michael Rooker's character 100%.
Yeah.
I disagree on Polka Dot Man. I think Polka Dot Man's going to be the one who I think Polka Dot Man's going to make it right to the end of the movie. I think he's going to be one, because that's the whole point. He's such a joke character. I think Javelin is going to die, definitely. Yes. He's got no chance. I think Rick Flag's going to die in this.
Okay.
I really do. I think Rick Flag's going to die. I think Harley's going to die. It can't just be joke characters who die. It's got to be some stakes. Yeah. I think Harley's going to die as well. I'm pretty sure about Rick Flag. I'm 50-50 on Harley, but I'm getting more convinced that she will actually snuff it because Margot Robbie's done. And I think the Thinker is going to die as well. Like, I don't think Peter Capaldi is going to live through this. But yeah, I think Polka Dot Man's going to make it to the end just because he's such a joke character. It would be the obvious one for him to die, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Boomerang. Do you think Captain Boomerang's going to make it? He's one of the very few. Yeah, he's one of the few that are returning, really, isn't he?
There's only 3, isn't there? It's him, Rick Flag, and Harley Quinn. They're the only returning characters, aren't they?
And Waller, I guess, to an extent.
Waller, yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I don't think he is. I think Jai Courtney needs work. No, I don't see him dying. I could be wrong, but he was one of the standouts of the first one, to be fair. So yeah, I don't see him dying in the second one. I think the only reason I think Harley Quinn's dying is that Margot Robbie's finished with the character. That's the only reason I think.
Do you think she's finished with it?
Yeah, I think she's done with it, man. Yeah, she's getting dangerously close to being typecast as Harley. Dangerously close. Like, when you think of Harley Quinn live action, who do you think of? Margot Robbie. And that's not good for actors always. You know, that's not always a good, especially someone like her when she cut her teeth in like Wolf of Wall Street and other, you know, serious dramas that sometimes actors don't want, you know, that's why a lot of actors were reluctant to sign up with Marvel, because they, you know, shoehorn them in for a 9-picture deal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not always a good thing for an actor to be, because it does mire them in casting directors' eyes, because it's like, oh, I've got this really juicy part in this, you know, drama that's like all emotion and all about family, and then they get Margot Robbie's name up and it's like, nah, she was Harley Quinn, it's not going to work, you know, like that. It is that kind of attitude, I think, in Hollywood. So I genuinely think she's finished. I think she wanted to make her solo movie and she's done. Like, that's it. So we'll see. But again, I'm very 50-50 on the Harley thing. I really think Rick Flag's dying. Because what's his name? It begins with a J. What's his name?
I know he's in RoboCop.
Joel Edgerton. Yes, Joel Edgerton. I think that's his name.
That's the guy from Bright. He plays as Luke's uncle in Thingy.
Wait, does he?
Yeah, no. Joel Edgerton.
No, hang on. Have I got the wrong guy? I have got the wrong guy.
The wrong one.
Who am I thinking of? Hang on. He's in Altered Carbon. What's his name? Joel Kinnaman. Joel Kinnaman. I knew his name was Joel. I think Joel Kinnaman's going to definitely. He doesn't want to be Rick Flag anymore. Like, there's no way. He's done. Like, you know, he didn't do season 2 of Altered Carbon. He's not going to do this. So no, he's on the way out. But yeah, interesting. I look forward to having an in-depth conversation with you about Suicide Squad and where they're going to go with that storyline.
I'll tell you what other movie I'm interested in having an in-depth conversation on.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Shang-Chi.
Oh!
We got another trailer to add to the trailer park. Shang-Chi dropped a trailer, which kind of gave a little bit more Mandarin, a little bit more 10 Rings.
Yeah. A little bit of Mandarin in my life, a little bit of 10 Rings in my life. Again, I mean, we have had a discussion way back when about Shang-Chi when the first trailer dropped. Looks amazing. It still looks really cool. Good. I'm still super excited for Shang-Chi. I know you want to talk about the potential reveal in that trailer of a certain somebody. It's not Batfleck, guys.
Or is it?
Yeah. Go for it. Go on.
So there's a scene. Well, I say scene. There's a 5-second clip of a monster fighting on what we perceived as maybe Mandarin. A Mandarin? As Mandrapore. Thank you.
Mad rapport.
Mad. Yeah. So and there was a hulking monster.
I only say that because we're going to get letters. Otherwise, you know, if you don't pronounce it correctly, they come after us saying, you know that.
I know, with their fan art.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a hulking monster that was fighting. That looked a resemblance to Abomination from the first Hulk movie.
I was going to say, hulking? Don't you mean Abomination? Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? I wonder if that, because there have been rumors for quite a long time that Tim Roth was going to reprise his Abomination role. I don't know. I there's two things that come to my mind on this. I don't know how happy I feel about it, if that's true that they revealed it in a teaser trailer for Shang-Chi. I'm not sure, because I feel like he's Abomination's quite a big deal in Marvel. Like, he is. I mean, he is. When you think of Hulk, he's pretty much one of the main villains that you think of when you think of Hulk. You know, there's very few villains that spring to my mind when it comes to Hulk. You know, I like. Can you right now list me like 5 Hulk villains? See how hard it is.
Yeah, I think there's the Thinker,
the Leader.
The Leader. There we go.
So I can think of 3. I can think of the Leader. 4. I can think of 4. I can think of the Leader. I can think of Thaddeus Ross, because he's always a bad guy.
Great, cool.
I can think of Abomination, and then technically it's also Thaddeus Ross, but I can think of Red Hulk.
That's cheating.
Apparently so. It's the same person. Red She-Hulk. Does that count? But I'm trying to think of other, like, I was trying to think of other iconic Hulk villains.
I was thinking Samson.
It's really hard.
But I don't think he's a villain. Yeah, I don't think he is.
He's his shrink. And that's the, I guess that's kind of why it's, I'm sure there's going to be lots of villains that were started in the Hulk, because Wolverine was originally in the Hulk comic. That's where he first came into it. And I can't remember whether Wendigo was or not, or whether Wendigo was in Alpha Flight. The Wendigo, sorry.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Anyway, but that's my point, is that there's not many iconic Hulk villains, and Abomination is 100% one of, if not the most iconic Hulk villain. And like, you just throw him into a trailer? Really? I like the idea that Emil Blonsky's like a mercenary working in Madripoor. That's awesome. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, but making some money fighting. I mean, it sounds great on paper. But yeah, like you said, it's a bit of a weird angle. But then I wonder if this is just another way of them just being like, don't worry about that Hulk movie. Like, it's over here now. Don't worry. It's just watch this one.
Or the other thing it could be is that this could just be some throwaway random Madripoor experiment that has nothing to do with Abomination or Hulk or anything, and it's just one of those churning the fires of those Marvel nerd boys like us to go, oh, speculation, what is it?
Create a thumbnail with a circle around it. It's like,
no kidding. That's how you get that. That's how you get the clicks. That's how you get them. You know, big circles and point to arrows. Who is this?
Zoom ins,
Zoom in, exactly. Yeah, just looking at the eye. But yeah, no, I mean, if it is, so there's two things to it. If it is Abomination, cool. But also, can we use him more than just in a throwaway fight scene in Shang-Chi? Because I really do feel like he won't be the focus of that movie.
Yeah, that's true. Saying that, just thinking out loud, I know there was rumors of like people suspect there will be Thunderbolts, and I wonder if he would be in the Thunderbolts.
That's a good point. Like the Hulk in the Thunderbolts. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we're going to see where it goes with the end of Loki, aren't we?
Yeah, that's true.
But yes, there's definitely, because they've already established. Obviously, you've got Captain America because you've got US Agent, and then there was who else was there?
Baron Zemo?
Zemo, yeah. No, but did we say Zemo was going to... Oh, yeah, he leads the Thunderbolts, doesn't he? So, yeah.
Yeah.
They've already had Iron Patriot as well.
That suit's got to be somewhere, though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying they've already introduced an Iron Patriot suit, so there's every chance they could use it again. Yeah. I mean, I'd be very interested to see the MCU version of the Thunderbolts. Definitely. Yeah, that could be a good... you're right. They might be using it specifically to set up for that. But again, the only other thing that I was thinking was potentially if Abomination is... I mean, they could be just using him as a plot device because what... this is going to sound really bad. What does Shang-Chi have going for him? Like, other than martial arts, you know what I mean? Like, he is the master of martial arts. So maybe they're doing this fight with him and Abomination to show it that he is physically capable of taking down someone at like a Hulk level, you know, to make him like formidable in the MCU. Because I feel like with MCU as well, you do run the risk at the moment of like power levels going like it's just like the game Marvel Strike Force. There's power creep all over the place done by. You know, like, I mean, we've already established how strong Scarlet Witch is. Then there's Captain Marvel's strength is ridiculously OP.
Yes.
So you've got to scale these guys really to the point where it's like, yeah, they can take down some big bads.
Yeah. We'll soon find out.
You know, just like Falcon without his wings, right?
Exactly. Like, he's just another man otherwise, isn't he?
Who'd think that, right?
Not this guy.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Looking forward to Abomination if that is Abomination. But I have a sneaking suspicion it might just be a little drop tease to be like, who's this? Oh, he's not even in the movie.
Yeah. It'd be better if it was Sabretooth. So moving on. I can picture it now. Oh, I know what they're going to do. That's it. It's sorted, right? Here we go. Are you ready for this? You ready for Paint me the picture. I'm
right?
Here.
They're in Madripoor, right? They're walking through Madripoor, okay?
Yeah.
They get up to the bar. He orders a drink, Bacardi, whatever he wants, right? He's talking to somebody, okay?
Yeah.
It's a nice, peaceful conversation. But in the background, you can hear commotion. You can hear something happening.
Oh.
And then suddenly, over the tannoy, you just hear, winner and still reigning champion, the Wolverine. And it ties into X-Men 1. Boom. There it is. That's where he was. He was in Madripoor right at the beginning. The circle is complete.
Book it.
There we go.
Pay them.
You thought I was going to go wrestling, didn't you? It's like, your winner, Hulk Hogan. Dun, 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 dun.
On a scale of Hogan, is Abomination Hulk Hogan? Or...
Oh, he's complete Hulk. He's off the Hulk scale.
Vitamins for days.
Yeah, exactly. He's on a scale so high he's almost a forgotten Horace Hogan. But yeah,
wow.
Anyway, there you go. So yeah, link in with Wolverine confirmed.
There we go. X-Men confirmed.
X-Men confirmed MCU.
So, Loki episode 3 happened.
That's it. Good night, everyone.
There we go.
That's our hot take. It happened. It's done.
It happened. We saw it. You saw it. Thanks.
I did see it.
What were your thoughts?
Do we want to do spoilers straight off the bat?
Yeah, why not? Like, this is a breakdown and Easter egg hunt. Let's go into it.
Okay. This one was a weird one for me. It went really fast. Like, the episode itself just seemed to breeze by for me, super quick. Faster than the other ones did. And I don't know whether that was just because the pace of it was a lot different to the previous episodes. So the other couple of episodes felt quite a lot like it was a focus on the investigation. Like, there was a lot of establishing TVA in the first one, and then the second one was all about the investigation into what is going on. And then this one felt like it was like a kind of like an escape movie, I guess. It just felt like it was a buddy cop escape movie where two people were trying to get away from something.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I mean, again, like this series, man, is just knocking it out of the park as far as being good. Like it is incredible. We got some interesting plot revelations in regards to Sylvie. No, not just the TVA, but Sylvie and who she is. So yeah, I mean, so the episode starts and they've escaped to they've escaped. Our Loki has chased Sylvie to another apocalypse, basically, and it's I'm trying to remember what the planet's called. Can I get letters?
Lamentis.
Lamentis 1, that's it. Lamentis 1, yes, which is currently in the middle of about to being destroyed. It's being hit by a meteor storm.
Which is also the first Easter egg in this episode as well, because Lamentis 1 is an outer world of the Kree.
Yes.
Now, the funny thing is, when I first saw it was a planet destroyed, like alien planet and stuff, and that people are running away and they're going on a ship, I instantly thought of Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, is this going to be like how they introduced Beta Ray?" Like,
no, they're not going to introduce Beta Ray Bill in this.
Like, no see way. The horseman in the ship, like, come on, get in. Like,
yes. You might find some of his species. They might be some of his because he's not. I know he's a horse, but like, he comes from a civilization of horse people. It's not just him. He's got an inside. So we may find some Easter eggs for like in the next episode. I think probably when you see more of the planet, we might well see some Easter eggs of that. That was it. I mean, this is an interesting. So that you'll notice as well at the beginning of the episode there was a scroll as well. At the beginning of the season, sorry, there was a scroll in TVA. And yeah, it does seem like they are hinting at there's some kind of like invisible war or something going on in the background, like between Skrull and Kree, which for those who are familiar with the books, there's the Skrull-Kree war has been going on for centuries, and is absolutely devastating and horrible. And in Guardians, they kind of shied away from that. They kind of made it between the Kree and Xandar. So I don't know whether this is this could be our first alteration in the timeline, is to see that like maybe it's the Kree versus Skrulls now, or I don't know.
Yeah, because I guess the only other reference was Captain Marvel, but that's obviously in the 90s. So and well, Samuel L. Jackson at the end of Spider-Man.
Did they give a Far From Home? Did they give a date when they landed on this planet being destroyed? I keep forgetting the name of it.
I think it was 2077.
2077. So maybe the Skrull-Kree war kicked off, and that's it kicks off in the future maybe, and that's and then it's happening like that's midway through it. I don't know. It's weird because later on in the episode you see the moon or whatever it is that's approaching. That's going to smash into the planet basically, and it kind of looks like it's getting sheared in half when it is about to hit the ground. It does like this weird thing, like there was this weird animation where it was just like cut straight through and then just was being dropped. So I wonder if it's some kind of, I don't know, doomsday weapon or something that's destroying the planet itself. Obviously that's not necessarily like two planets colliding is not necessarily a natural occurrence, is it? So I mean, the only other there was some discussions. I was listening to some discussions around the Time War as well, or this multiverse war that was going on, and some people were speculating that perhaps that is knee deep in a multiversal war. That that planet is because the battlefield that's shown in the animation. Everyone assumed it was Titan, but what if it's like a couple of places like amalgamated together and like What if
yeah.
whatever its name, Inventus One or whatever it's called. I can't remember what the hell the name of the planet is. Again, I've forgotten it again, Senpai. See how my memory
Lamentis
works?
One.
Lamentis One. God. Yeah, and whether Lamentis One is just a casualty of war kind of thing. There's a lot of things in this episode that point towards like that multiversal war being something that there is a lot more going on with that than we are aware. So yeah, it could again, it could be another thing where it could be just Marvel have just dropped in another little hint where they've just gone,
Yeah.
go on, speculate away, and Lamentis One could be nothing, but you never know with them. You never know.
Yeah, interesting. A lot of stuff does take place, and a lot of talk, if anything. Like I've seen a few people refer to this as a filler episode, which I think is slightly unfair because, you know, like you say, the last 2 episodes have been high paced, and this has kind of slowed it down a little bit in terms of let's just reevaluate where everyone is, where's Loki, who is Sylvie, let's discuss and find out more. Also, this is probably the most Doctor Who episode where it takes where it's filmed in like a quarry.
Yes. Like... It's funny you say that. I looked over at my wife when we were watching it and I was just like, this really feels like an episode of Doctor Who. And then my wife hates space. Like she hates anything to do with space. So so for her, it was just like the last 2 episodes she's really enjoyed. And then this episode, she was just like, I hate it. But it was very Doctor Who, especially when they were out on the surface of the moon as well. I was like, that's pure quarry in Cardiff. That is
in a suit, like, you know, shirt and tie combo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It felt very Whovian.
Tom Hiddleston's audition for the 14th Doctor. He's nailed it.
Yeah, perfect.
I like the The one of the things that I really did enjoy about the episode was that I haven't got any notes or anything. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. My apologies.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
But I liked when we'll come back to the relationship between Loki and Sylvie later. But when they got to the so that they determined that the only way to escape the apocalypse was to power up this TVA device that they had, this like palm pocket device that they had. And the only power source that was capable of that was the shuttle that was going to be leading them off of the planet, leading all the people off of the planet, the savior shuttle kind of thing. So to get there, they have to take this train. And I really liked the social commentary of like the rich elites basically paying their way through to get onto this train, and all the common people being left like just behind because they don't have enough money to get on there. It was a nice little social commentary and a stark reminder of how, you know, people, when it comes to state and money, the working class are forgotten in that regard. When it comes to, you know, ultimately they just get squashed beneath, you know, this elite and power. And I really enjoyed that it was like they put that in the episode specifically. And they made mention that they've been there for hours and like got nowhere, and yet these rich people were just coming right through and just getting, you know, showed onto the shuttle. So
having like champagne and stuff as well, weren't they?
Yeah, so you can see there is some kind of class system in the Marvel universe, like in the universe as a whole. It doesn't just happen on Earth, kind of thing. But I thought it was good.
They also kind of dance around the whole sort of free will and such as well, because, for example, like Sylvie's plan of destroying the TVA, but not giving some sort of hard motivations, shall we say. She's like, I just want to destroy them. Like I've been on the road my whole life. Where Loki is, you know, trying as an agent of chaos, is trying to put a spanner in their works and, you know, be some sort of chaos where she's trying to create free will at the same time by destroying the TVA.
Well, okay, so there's a question I've got for you after that statement. Is Loki an agent of chaos? I would dispute that he is not an agent of chaos. I would dispute that Loki is a harbinger of power. He wants power, and he is like, I think the main motivation behind this version of Loki is it all leads back to that sentence he said to Mobius in the first episode about the weak inspiring fear to make themselves look stronger. And I think Loki has identified, he identified in the first episode the TVA were a power beyond anything that he knew in the known universe. And if he can control that power, he will be the most powerful person in the universe. And I still think that is Loki's motivation throughout all of this. He wants to be in control of this power. That's all it is to it, because he can then achieve whatever it is he wants to achieve.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily about sowing chaos. I don't think in the world. I think chaos follows in his wake. I think he tries to, if you look at the films all the way through, every film he's been in, there's been some kind of chaos event that has immediately followed. Obviously the first Thor, you can kind of argue, okay, that was like an establishing situation, but like Avengers, the whole invasion of New York was because of him, and it all came in his wake. The Thor: The Dark World, Asgard was almost wiped off the map by the Dark Elves, and his mother died in that. That was all chaos in his wake. Thor Ragnarok, like Asgard was destroyed, was completely wiped out as a result, of him and Thor going back there and needing to take down Hela. So all like I don't necessarily think that Loki is an agent of chaos, but I think chaos follows him. I think chaos haunts him, and I think he covets power. I think that's what it is. He is a power coveter.
I loved his little train sequence where he got drunk and then sang in
Asgardian.
Asgardian, shall we say? Yeah, I think it was definitely like Nordic or something as well.
Yes, it was. It was a Nordic. It was a Nordic folk song from way back when, I think, wasn't it? But
yeah, fantastic. Kind of reminds me of when David Tennant was drunk at like that Clockwork episode.
Wow, you're really hooked on this Doctor Who thing, aren't you?
I'm just gonna reel it in a little bit.
Yeah, there was a lot. So this I'm cautious of talking over you, Zane. I feel like I always talk over you during these shows.
Okay, let me send you a theory this time. So, a theory that I've seen and heard a few go around is that maybe Sylvie is a combination of Enchantress and Loki, because I think in the previous episode there was a file that said Sylvie, Loki's son, Laufey's son. Thank you. Yeah. So there's, again, I know a lot of people theorize, including us, that she maybe was Enchantress, but maybe this is a combination of the two come together. How do you feel about that now after seeing this episode?
She's his daughter.
She's his daughter?
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
She's Sylvie Laufey's. That's why she's got the same surname as Loki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's. I think there is. I think they've mixed. I think you are correct, though. I think they have mixed in character elements of Loki and Enchantress. I think they've merged the character together. She has never, aside from the actress herself, dropping in. I think it was in the behind the scenes thing, dropping about the fact that she basically says she is another version of Loki. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, there's never been any confirmation ever in any of the series that she is another variant of Loki. She's never said it. It's never been addressed in the thing.
Yeah.
Mobius referred to them as another Loki. But you notice during all of these episodes, she has said multiple times, "Do not call me that."
Yeah.
Like it's in my view of it, it's the same way that a effed off daughter would say being called her father. You know what I mean? It's like, don't ever call me that.
Yeah.
I think there is some precedent for it in the book. So last week, you and I both had a kind of like, not a disagreement at all, but like a confusion around the name of Enchantress. Yeah. And we were both right because there were two. And I was talking about the original one, and you were talking about the latest version, who is called Sylvie. I believe she is. I think you know, I might have to recheck this again, but I'm pretty sure that she's the daughter of someone. I think Loki, possibly. I know that Hela is the. You know, it could be a mix of the Hela situation as well, because Hela was supposed to be Loki's daughter and is Loki's daughter in the comics. So I'm sure they've just mixed up the elements, but I don't think she's another variant of Loki. I really don't. I think it is way too obvious for that. I think she's his daughter. I think that's why they're giving. You'll notice as well. The other thing I was going to say earlier on was that they're giving Loki loads of like emotional familial ties in this show. So like, there's a lot of emphasis about his mother. And how close he was with his mother, and his mother taught him all the magic, and you know he has such a fondness of Asgard in his you know he's genuinely sad when he finds out Asgard is gone. You know, we've seen in Ragnarok previously. I know this it's a different Loki, but we've obviously seen it in the flashbacks as well, where you know, he still loves Odin as his father. To the point where he refers to himself right before he dies as Odin's son before Thanos kills him. Yeah, you know, and so there's been a big weight on Loki. It's really subtle in the series. They've done it really well. But even him singing the Nordic like Asgardian songs when he's drunk and stuff, and thinking back to like those banquets and stuff like that, it's all like how much he valued his time on Asgard and his family. And why would they do that, Senpai? Why would they keep like knocking away at like Loki being this family, you know, thinking about family and the importance of his family and stuff, to just have another variant? And the fact that the Sylvie doesn't know who her mum is, or can't even remember who her mum is, you know, which we find out in the episode. I think, she says, the only memory I have of my mother is just a blip. She says it in the episode when she's talking to Loki.
Who's the mum then? Who's the blip?
Exactly.
Oh, we don't know. Said, like, I thought we find out who her mum is, and I was like,
no. I'm saying in the episode we find out that she doesn't really know who her mum is, because it's just a blip. Which why would they? You know what I mean? Like, because I think it's the scene where Loki's talking about what his mum's like, and then he says, "What's your mum like in your world?" And she goes, the only memory I have of my mother is just a blip, you know. And it's why, you know, we've established right from the get go that this is a time machine system, you know. So yeah, I still more than ever believe that it's his daughter. I think I said it last week that she was Enchantress, and I think it was his daughter. I think that my view has shifted on it a little bit away from the fact that I still think she is a form of Enchantress. I really do. Yeah. But I don't think I think they've merged characters again. They are very good at that. In Marvel.
There's so 2 points actually just coming off the back of what you said. The first one is referencing his good times in Asgard. He mimics Thor from the first Thor movie by smashing a glass in another, which was a real nice little nod.
That. Yeah.
The second point I was going to make is there's a few theories rolling around that we could see a young Sylvie, and it could help with this sort of young Avengers idea, because in WandaVision we got to see Wick.
I hate that.
Because Sylvie, as you said, like the second Enchantress was part of like Young Avengers as well, because I think she had a relationship with one of Wanda's boys.
Okay, so spoiler alert for the next episode. You do see a young Sylvie, because they've posted a trailer of episode 4 onto I can't remember which website it was, but I've seen it online. So yeah, you'll see more of her backstory in the next one. Oh, I hate that Young Avengers thing. No, thank you. I just don't care enough about the Young Avengers. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't care enough about them. I don't want them. It's just it's it broke me.
I want to talk about the scene where they run away as well, because there's been a lot of discussion about that, because not run away, but when they run towards the shuttle.
Okay. Can we just get onto one? Can we just cover one thing before then, Senpai? So, before they do that, because that's towards the tail end, so that'll tie into next episode. But because I've got some theories, and I want to hear your theory on it as well. But there is a massive revelation before that. There is a huge revelation before that.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right.
Which Sylvie gives out. So, it turns out that everyone in the TVA is not created by the timekeepers, as is expected from them. It is that every single. So I'm gonna hold my hat up and say I was right, by the way, because didn't I say that Mobius was a variant? Didn't I say that?
I think you did. Yeah.
Everyone in the TVA is a variant. That is the revelation that you get this week in this week's episode of Loki, is that the entire TVA is apparently full of variants. So that immediately leads to the question: who are these people? Who were they before?
And from Earth as well, isn't it? They're not variants from any other sort of planet or anything. It's just specifically Earth.
Exactly. So there is so many things to pull out of that. So first of all, why doesn't anyone know that they are variants? Why do they not know? That's the first thing. The other question is, does everyone not know, or does some people know that they are variants? What's her name? The judge. I can't remember what her name is. Laurel. I can't remember.
No. Yeah, I know who you mean though.
We're Undisputed Nerds. We know all the names. That judge woman.
Judge.
Oh, what's her name? That's going to drive me nuts now.
Because she's supposed to have like a hotline to the keepers, right? That's what she portrays anyway. She's supposed to be the.
I need to know what her name is. Ravonna Renslayer. That's it. Ravonna Renslayer. Yes. Does she know who she is? Does she know who she used to be? Is she in control? Is she are the judges in control of this and they know? We assume the timekeepers are real. Are the timekeepers actually real? So I saw a really interesting theory off of New Rockstars, which I loved and I thought was amazing. So I'm going to steal it and give them credit for it here.
Okay.
So what if the multiversal war that they talk about at the beginning of the first episode, what if, Zane, all of the variants from that war are prisoners of war who had their mind erased and were made to be this TVA? So what if they're like prisoners of war from that multiversal war that they don't remember what happened to them because their mind was stripped as a result of that war?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe they were the ones who were the attackers, and obviously the TVA, or whoever represents the TVA won, and then they used them to be the thing that they hate, and wiped their minds. Wow. So that was a really good. I love that theory. I thought that was great. I'm that might well be it. So my question to you, after the revelation that they're all variants, who was Mobius?
I think he's Howard Stark.
See, I was thinking about Howard Stark, but then I thought, how awesome would it be if he remembers who he was and he was Thor?
Oh, wow.
How good would that be?
Owen Wilson's Thor.
I know, right? Owen Wilson with the lightning just going, wow. But it would make sense because that's why he believes in Loki. He still believes in Loki, even to this day.
Yeah, he's always got his corner, really, hasn't he? Like against everyone else's. Because the other one I sort of heard of and read, I can't remember where, is that they are. Well, there's two. I'll explain the first one. The first one is there's a council of Kangs that are controlling everything.
Oh, yes.
And these are all like byproducts of his meddling with time. So if that is deviating from the timeline, he's like just taking them and put them to work. The other idea I heard of was that Richard E. Grant is the timekeeper as an older Loki. So this is like Loki is in control, similar to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
But they have always, because I think Mobius mentions in the last episode, they've always taken out variants of Loki's because more than any other variants. And the theory is that Loki will naturally try to overthrow Loki.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So
which is what's happening with Sylvie.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah, that is
it's
good.
Kind of like
that's good.
Is it a butterfly effect? But
yeah. Or I don't know, some kind of like, what do they call it?
Grandfather theory, I think, is another one.
When the ancestor kills, whatever. Interesting. Although that flows against my theory that Richard E. Grant is playing Mephisto, so I don't like it. Still riding that train. What if it was him? What if this is a version of Hell?
Yeah. Because Hela's supposed to have her own hell, isn't she? Like again, based on the comics,
she's got And then,
yeah.
Why is there? We still don't know why there's a Nightmare division in the TVA.
But then that also means we'll probably get like Big Horn Loki. I know that. As soon as I said that, I was like, "That's disgusting."
I'm supposed to be the one who's in love with Hiddleston. Not even I want to see Big Horn Loki.
There's a reference, actually. Here's an Easter egg. So Sylvie takes off her...
God, careful. Where are you going with this?
Sylvie takes off her like crown of 2 horns and uses it to like stab someone, which is similar to the movement Loki does in Thor Ragnarok, where he takes off his and spins it and like gets them.
And like...
Exactly.
Right, cool, got you. Universal language for stabbing someone. They're like, get him.
Got him.
Got him. There's so many. We don't know enough yet to know any. We don't know what we don't know. I'm sticking to my guns that Sylvie is not a Loki, though. I really am. Maybe if that theory about Richard E. Grant playing old Loki as the timekeeper is true, maybe that's who her father is.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's who she's trying to get back to. I love that idea about the Council of Kang. I absolutely love that idea. That is amazing. Because then that would explain it, that maybe the Kang that shows up in the Ant-Man Quantumania movie is not a bad Kang. Yeah. That's a great theory.
That's a really cool one.
There's also I've heard another ridiculous theory that there's a council of Reeds, and it's Reed Richards who is controlling all of this, and it's going to be the introduction to the Fantastic Four. Oh, one thing that I wanted to talk to you about that they did come up in this episode, and I think Mr. Sunday Movies and Weekly Planet covered it, so shout out to them. But like they're ever going to listen to this. She makes a reference in the episode to having, I can't remember whether it's a boyfriend or a lover or something.
A lover of some sorts, yeah.
Who used to be a postman.
Oh.
Right. So the reason why that is interesting to me is twofold. And I need to go back and rewatch some of it. But first of all, the Fantastic Four are very famously known for having a postman who comes to them and delivers their mail.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is now, but he's played by Stan Lee in the actual first movie. But so that was a nice little nod as to whether or not they're going to introduce Fantastic Four. Was like, oh, she dated a postman who delivers Fantastic Four's post in her variant world. But the other side of it was that in WandaVision, there was all that speculation about the people who were in that town, and like one of them was very specifically a postman and had like quite a big part as a postman. Now I think in this show it was revealed that he was just a normal guy. I'm pretty sure it was revealed that he was just a normal guy. But what if it was some kind of weird like situation where Agatha Harkness knows about this stuff, or knows about like this world or something like that, and she learned some of the enchanting from Sylvie. Like, what if that's the tie back? Is that, like that it could be that this is all connected together. Like, because where has Agatha Harkness been for 80 years or whatever, that all of this stuff has been happening? It's the same advantage of like, where's the Eternals, which we're going to find out. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting. It's a very niche thing for them to drop in as being like, oh yeah, I dated a postman. Well, why? Yeah. Like, why? That's a weird thing to say off the cuff, kind of. If I'm describing my wife, I wouldn't describe her occupation first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think also Stan Lee was in Civil War as a postman, because he turns up when Tony is giving like therapy to Rhodey, and he's like, I'm here to deliver. Yeah, Mr. Stank.
So there you go. Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was an interesting thing. Who was her boyfriend? Because I feel like that's a strange thing for them to just throw in there if it's not going to lead to anything. But who knows?
Just British bands or Mobius.
Yeah, Mobius. Yeah. I think he's Asgardian. I really do. I just don't know. I don't know what variant of Asgardian he is.
Yeah,
whether he's a Loki or whether he's a Thor.
An Odin. Odin sleep.
Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't know on that one yet. Maybe he's Laufey, the Frost Giant.
That's
condensed into Owen Wilson size. Wow!
And the lovable
ice powers. My God, it's amazing. Wow. Yeah, you want to talk about the end of the episode then?
Yeah. We got to talk about that building falling on top of them, that kind of reversed back. There's been a lot of speculation about
reversed time back, thing. You say? How could that happen, Senpai? Wow.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of
I'm sticking to my Owen Wilson impression, by the way, everyone. Sorry, I'm sticking with it.
For the rest of the episode.
For the rest of the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that the time stone that we saw Loki pick up in episode 1 from the drawer, but never saw him put back, may have been used. How do you feel about that?
He nicked them. He nicked loads of them. He's got an entire wallet full of jewels, hasn't he? He's grabbed loads of them. Yes, I think that is the most likely explanation, is that he's got the time stone and can reverse time, which is why he I don't know if you noticed at the end of the episode, but she walks off and he seems incredibly calm. I mean, it's like, he's like, this doesn't bother me. I'm just going to reverse time. Yes, I think he's got the time stone. It wouldn't surprise me if he took a couple of Infinity Gems with him. I mean, look, it's the only rational, logical explanation to how he could stop the building landing on him, because his magic has never been that powerful. Like, he can't stop it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, since when can Loki do that with his powers? Like, when have we seen him display anything like that ever in any of the entire MCU history?
Thor: The Dark World.
What did he do?
He lost his temper inside his prison, and he clenches, and all the furniture flips.
Oh. Yeah,
not to the same scale as a falling building.
Well, no, you've made your case very clear. It's like, Loki's power is so behemoth he can flip a table. I'm in awe.
I mean, it obviously depends on the situation. Like, if you're angry, you just flip a table, like, with your mind.
Based on that situation that you've just given me, then that technically means I'm Asgardian, because I flipped a table in Rage the other day. Yeah, I knows
what you have to do to stop a building and then reverse it.
Yeah, I get really angry. I really don't see them getting out, because I don't want. The other thing they could do is do just a cop out, and it's like, Mobius has turned up and he saved them. No, have them get out of it themselves and go back to the TVA. It's I hate that idea of like somebody. I think somebody on one of the channels that I can't remember, so forgive me for that, but they said, oh, Mobius just come and save the day. And I'm like, oh, I hate that idea.
I'm kind of expecting it though.
I
really am
know,
expecting it.
But I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so stupid. And then, like, I'm sorry, right? But that power level that Loki displayed, it was so. First of all, he wasn't angry. He wasn't emotional. So unless Loki's power is linked to him being drunk, then there ain't no way that is a natural thing that he can do. Because he I'd have to watch the episode back. I don't know whether the building actually reconstructs when he rewinds it or not.
I think it's hard to tell because of the debris and stuff.
Exactly. So, like, if it's a rewind, then it will rebuild as it did a la Doctor Strange. But it was very reminiscent of the end of Doctor Strange when he rewinds time and fixes everything.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's very likely, very very likely that he's got a Power Stone, an Infinity Stone. I really do. They made a big emphasis point of him going through them right at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he pick up a couple?
Yeah.
We might find he's got a few of them. Like, he might not just have the one. He might have the Space Stone as well. He might have the. I don't think he's got the Mind Stone, but he might have a few of them. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know is the short answer, but yes, I would assume he's got some kind of power that is not his own.
Interesting.
Maybe it was her. Maybe it was Sylvie.
Could be, but then yeah, maybe. Like, do you think that whole episode was a dream? Like the way the episode opened with her enchanting Loki?
No. That was the other thing I was going to actually talk to you about as well. Was that we get revealed how she uses her powers, which is that seemingly she goes in, she forces her way into people's minds and rips them out of them, if that makes sense, I guess. But she uses in like magic in a very different way to Loki, which again really supported my theory of like it ain't that's not Loki. I really think it's his daughter. I really do.
It was very kind of Inception, wasn't it? Kind of like constructing something in their minds, like, and then trying to extract the information.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
What if she, instead of being his daughter, which I'm still sticking to the guns on that, I still think it is, but just throwing this out there, what if she is Frigga, Loki's mum, but a variant of her? Oh. Because she was a witch who utilized magic and taught Loki everything he knows about magic.
Yeah.
What if it's a variant of her?
That's true. Yeah. And saving all the Lokis from the TVA.
Yeah. Her sons, basically.
Yeah.
She doesn't know who her mum is. We don't know who Frigga's mum was. We don't know. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. Apologies if I'm not. But what if? What if, which we'll probably find out in the next episode. Ooh. It's so good this season. I Disputed or Undisputed this episode?
Ooh. For me, Disputed.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me. For the whole train sequence alone, Undisputed for me. That whole part was incredible, and really good character development, and I loved it. And I loved the conversation. And him singing his folk song made me all teary. So
it was a nice like character development episode, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. For me, it was just kind of, look at them working together. Look at them try and haggle this old woman together. Like a Loki
we didn't
thing.
even mention that. We didn't even mention that the old woman. The one thing I will say about it is that it did. I will agree in the sense of it did feel like half an episode. And I understand why people would say it was filler, because there wasn't that satisfying conclusion to the episode like we've had previously. Yeah, like all the other episodes led into something else. Whereas this is like, no, this is a continuation of what we're going to see again next time. Like they're still going to be on that planet next time. It's still going to continue. So Yeah, I can understand people saying I loved it though. I mean, I have loved every episode this season so far. It's been fantastic, and I love Tom Hiddleston. I love you, Hiddleston.
If you want to be like Hiddleston, make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe.
Oh yeah, he's a friend of the show, isn't he? I forgot. Yeah.
Obviously, like he's a fan of the show. He's always
Tommy H.
to know our feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
he actually rang beforehand and said, "Make sure Zane is wearing that hat that I bought him," because I know he's such a fan of Green Arrow.
He's such a nice guy. Like he's so thoughtful.
Oh, he's just the best, and he's just multi-talented as well. It's amazing.
I mean, that or overacting, you could say, but never mind.
Wow. I can't believe you're not wearing a Batfleck hat this week.
Sorry, it's laundry day.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that has been our episode. Did we miss any Easter eggs? Let us know in the comments down below. Yeah, probably loads. Yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast, there's a comment section too. So just let us know. We want to hear from you guys. As always, leave us a star rating because that helps other people find the podcast.
Spread the word. Share it amongst friends. Share it amongst friends. Share it amongst relatives. Whoever might be interested in listening to us babble. Or contact us at nerds.undisputed@gmail.com as well. I'm still waiting for the fanfic of Senpai and Batfleck.
I'll draw one.
Unless you've had some and you've been hiding them from me from the mailbox, which could happen. But yeah, send in your stuff. Were you going to ask me where they can find me?
Yes, I was actually.
So I changed my name now, guys. So I am now the Gentlemanly Gamer on Twitch. So that's twitch.tv/Gentlemanly Gamer. Come along and watch me. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So as of recording this, I think I'm actually doing a joint stream with another streamer tonight. I think we're going to be playing Dead by Daylight because it's Friday night.
Nice.
Yeah. So Mr. Plums VS. I will be doing it with. He's a lovely man, and he's got that Hiddleston handsome. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's not why I'm playing with him. He's just a nice guy.
No.
But come along, find me, Perfect. Say hello.
You can always follow me on Twitter at senpai_Zane. Of course, all the relevant links will be linked in the description down below. Thank you so much for listening and joining us on today's session. Of course, we'll be back next week for episode 4 of Loki. There's only 3 more episodes left, believe it or not.
I know, it's weird. I know, halfway through. But then we get the Marvel movies back, then we get Black Widow, then we get, all the other... In fact, Black Widow is like week after next, isn't it?
Yeah, July 9th, I believe.
You and I need to go to the cinema together to watch that, young man. We have to get that going, Mr. Zane. Most definitely.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to come to where I live and watch it.
Why does that sound so creepy?
Because I'm not going to where you live. And you've got a car.
Yeah, that's true. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate the listens and the downloads. It helps us out massively. And continue to spread the undisputed word that is this podcast.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for all your support and love. It's much appreciated. I'm welling up inside. I've got to go. If Hiddleston sings a folk song, I'm going to cry. Let's go.
On that bombshell, have a good evening, and we'll catch you soon.
See you next week. Bye.